How's it going, guys? Your boy Jet Screamer, FTO, doing it up. First off, I want to talk about Amazing X-Men. Goodness gracious, Amazing X-Men. It takes place during the Age of Apocalypse. Pretty much Apocalypse took over everything. The whole US, America, Apocalypse controls everything. The only places that are free is Europe and Africa. So before the whole Age of Apocalypse happened, a lot of people escaped and went to those different continents. A lot of people just took off and went there instead. But the people that stuck around, they're all being ruled by Apocalypse. What happens inside this story is, the beginning of Age of Apocalypse, Charles Xavier died. But when he dies, Magneto takes over. And he becomes like the head of the X-Men. There's like a couple different teams of the X-Men. You got like the Astonishing X-Men. This story is more about the Amazing X-Men. It's a 4-part issue. Andy Kubert did the work to it. The art is phenomenal. The art's phenomenal. The story to it also is really good. There's a lot of outside narrative. It's telling you more about the story, about the people, about the X-Men, about Quicksilver, Banshee, Storm, Iceman. It's telling you a lot about those different characters. Exodus and Magneto also. Just about how they think and about how they are. The story is really good though. You see the X-Men training, fighting these Sentinels, trying to get this code of theirs into these signals. So when they get into the Sentinels will recognize them as ordinary people, then get more people from America to Europe instead. So Apocalypse can just control that land all on his own. But something happens in the story. I don't want to tell you guys too much. It's really awesome. It's really, really good. I know I use those words a lot. Awesome, spectacular, fantastic. This is a really good story. If you guys haven't read anything Age of Apocalypse, find the individuals, find like the trades, whatever you can find of this comic. Pick it up, read it. Really good. One of the greatest 90s events ever. Next up, I want to talk about Peter Parker, Spider-Man, issue number 75. Oh my God, issue number 75. This is one of the greatest Spider-Man stories I've ever read. It pretty much starts out Peter Parker being Peter Parker. He doesn't have his powers, or they're not as strong as they were when he first had them. But this story is completely different. It takes place a couple of years after the whole Clone Saga. If you guys know about the Clone Saga, Peter Parker isn't really Peter Parker. He's a clone. Ben Reilly, it's a real Peter Parker. He's the real one. The Jacko created a clone, a lot of different clones, and the only two that survived was the Peter Parker that you and I all know from the Marvel Universe. Ben Reilly is supposed to be the real Spider-Man. But the story takes place, Peter Parker doing his thing at Daily Bugle. He gets some news that Mary Jane, who's pregnant, by the way, is having complications with her pregnancy. So Peter Parker goes, the guy gets behind Parker, injects him, knocks Parker out. Parker wakes up. He's surrounded by all this darkness, all this smoke. He wakes up in his Spider-Man costume also. So he dressed in his old Spider-Man costume that he hasn't worn for 75 issues. So he wakes up, he looks over, and he sees no other but Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. He's there, he's not a clone, he's not a robot, he's not something else, he's the real deal Norman Osborn. Parker thought Osborn died when his glider shot into Osborn's body. When Stacy's neck had snapped and Osborn died. That's when Parker thought Osborn was just completely gone. But Osborn didn't die. He has a healing factor, just like Wolverine and Deadpool. He has a healing factor that helps him heal, that helps him, as soon as he got hit by the glider, he immediately started healing by that. This story is honestly, seriously guys, one of the greatest stories I've ever read when it came to a Spider-Man story. I've read a lot of Spider-Man issues. This one here is by far one of my greatest issues that I've ever read. Bar none. Ben Reilly's there also. I don't want to tell you too much about this story because I'm going to give away a lot if I keep talking about it. But pick it up, find the individuals. I haven't seen any trades for this. Revelations, issue number 4. It's a 4-part issue. Find it. Dear guys, you guys gotta find it. On my next video, I want to talk about Emperor Joker. Yeah, Emperor Joker. It's a Superman story. So, yeah, buckle up. It's gonna be something. Till next time, you guys be frosty.